Welcome back to What She Said Sports. We are back. If you saw the thumbnail, we're going to give everybody a chance to catch up with us. We have an intro, but I changed it and it didn't come on. So, hey, hey, hey. It is what it is, I guess. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm excited because our guy, Shedeur Sanders, balled out and the results are in. If you took a peek at the thumbnail, you likely saw his stats. He balled out. Nobody else had above 60% over 4 open OTA sessions. Now, we know there were more than 4, but only 4 that were open, so you can only verify what you saw, right? And then there's minicamp, right? So I think it was Aurora gave us the numbers earlier, and she had it at 83%, which was right because on average, what we saw was about 85, 83, 82%. So when you add in all of his stats from open OTAs and rookie minicamp, I mean, not rookie minicamp, what do they call it? The mandatory camp. So they didn't take rookie minicamp. They took the mandatory camp, the one that's wrapping up tomorrow. That's where Shedeur has 77% completion, which is higher than it was at CU in his last year, which was 74%. Is anybody surprised? Honestly, are y'all surprised that his stats in the NFL are higher through 4 open OTAs and the mandatory minicamp, which wraps up tomorrow, than it was at CU? Be honest. Let me know if y'all are surprised or not. So I'm waiting to see if y'all are surprised. I'm not surprised. Why? Okay, you know what this is giving all of the talk now? Now, since everybody knows that Shedeur Sanders is him, right? And we're not talking about how he got to the 5th round because notice nobody's talking about that. They have glossed right past that issue into we can't wait to see him start. Should he start week 1? Should he start week 8? Etc. That's really what a conversation is focused. This morning we were talking about not just us, but in general, should he be traded? Or why is he not getting first team reps? Why are they treating him like a 4th-string QB? This afternoon, everything changed. Everything changed. With people admitting that Shedeur is him, the conversation is now. Well, should he start week 1? Should he start week 8? How long before he starts? Where can I get my jersey? Shady McCoy had his jersey on a facility. He had a brown 12 with Sanders. That thing looks good. It's beautiful. Just on the set. I'm like, wow. So I don't know who else has theirs. But they're online. You can purchase them. Hell, it's on eBay, and I don't even know how that happened. So I don't know. I can't attest to the authenticity, but they're out there for $38 on eBay. They say they only got 3 left. So maybe they bought them and they're reselling them. I don't know, but they have like the NFL patch on them. So if that matters to you, maybe check eBay. They have men's, they have women's $38. So with that being said, the jersey's beautiful. But when I see the 12, it doesn't invoke Shedeur Sanders. It invokes Travis Hunter. So, question was going to be to y'all. Y'all think he gonna go back to the two? Then, if it pops up in his locker, or somebody gets traded to another team, and the two is suddenly available for any reason, do you think he gonna want it, or you think he gonna be like, nah, don't worry about it? Honestly, what do you think? Let's see what y'all think. Some radio announcers are asking why he is not taking first team reps. Good, because that's the real question. That's the real question. But they won't talk about that no more. They just like pressure. I think they're applying pressure by having the conversation about when he's going to start. See, I told y'all, big box media can't pressure the Browns like that. They can't. They can argue with each other about what they think, but they can't call out the Cleveland Browns because why? They want access to the players and they got to go through the organization and the owners to get it. So that's why big box media is how long before he starts? When is he going to start? Should it be week one? Podcasters, people like us who don't have access to the locker rooms, want anything from the Cleveland Browns. Not asking to be invited to a closed practice that only media can go to. If I go to a practice, I'm gonna have to fly into Cleveland and go to one where it's open to the public. So I don't have anything to lose. And a lot of podcasters are in the same boat. So they're being honest, right? Pointing out that he's balling out. He should be taking first team reps. Now I posted what? I posted a poll. I did a poll asking, uh, telling people that incoming, there's a rumor that supposedly after mandatory camp ends tomorrow, that what? The rumor is they're gonna cut somebody. So I said, okay, let's say the rumor is true. Who do y'all think they're gonna cut? And I really wanted to know. The overwhelming majority was that they're gonna cut who? Kenny Pickett. That's what everybody is thinking. Now, some people were thinking they were gonna cut Dylan or Shedeur. And while that may seem to be common sense, if you look at it from the perspective of keeping my vets and one of the rookies got to go last one in, last one out, then I can see why they would think that. But when you look at the stats that came out today, and Shedeur didn't take any first team reps, it makes you think maybe it's Shedeur. But then if you look at it how I see it, if I carve out the middle and look strictly at what happened yesterday and today, not considering how we got to this point. If I just look at the raw information presented in front of me with no context, what I saw was Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett auditioning for a job. That's what I saw. And let me tell you why. Pickett and Gabriel had the most reps. It didn't matter what team they have the reps with. They just took the most reps. Flacco didn't do any yesterday, remember? And what did I say? I said they either know who Flacco is and they're comfortable with it and they have decided they're going to keep him. And since they probably going to trade somebody, they have Pickett and Dylan auditioning with the first team so people can see who they really are. If I want you to be considered and evaluated by the other 31 teams, I'm not going to put you with the fourth and third string. That's not a good evaluation. That's not even good business. I'm going to put you with the best so they can see exactly who you are. Shedeur Sanders was the only player to be above 60%. Everybody else was below 60%. He was 77 when you combine the open OTAs and the mandatory minicamp. If you throw in rookie minicamp, it goes up. Remember, he balled out. 5 touchdowns in one day, 400 some odd yards, 28 out of 30. So it only ticks up. He only has up to go. Now we know Coach Prime developed his players like what does he teach them? The way you practice is the way you play. So what you see with Shedeur, you're going to get that or better. He has a ceiling. He's nowhere near it. He hadn't even reached his peak yet at all. And like he said in his song, Perfect Timing, I ain't even trying. People can look and see he's only gotten better since he left CU. So yeah, 74% last year with half an O-line. 77% with whatever they're out there doing in Cleveland. That has so many people excited. And part of the reason why they probably didn't let you see Shedeur maybe do first team reps is because they don't want the other 31 teams to come do a hostile takeover. If there's no moratorium, somebody gonna get it. So they still selling the lie that he's a fourth string, and that could be for selfish reasons, sticking to the script also. But I do believe Shedeur did take the least amount of reps, but he's the most efficient QB they have. That's future MVP numbers. That's future offensive player of the year numbers. Put Shedeur right up here with Jaden Daniels. The rhetoric that I'm hearing from the haters, the few that are willing to speak out and get talked down off the ledge, is the same rhetoric that I heard before Colorado played TCU on why Colorado was going to lose. Score was 45-42. Y'all know CU won that game, and Shedeur put up 500, over 500 yards. I think Shedeur could be the next Jaden Daniels in his rookie year, meaning he could win Offensive Player of the Year, meaning that what? He could get him as far as the coach can get him, if you understand what I'm saying. So if they don't cut nobody right now, who asked that question? Elijah. So here's another scenario. Cut anybody. I just keep y'all guessing. And I don't make the cut until what? They go into July. The end of July to August, where they have camp, where they supposed to go somewhere for camp. I think Greenbrier. They're gonna do a portion of it up there. And Greenbrier's nice. Do they mean the one in Connecticut? Like what? That can't be it. But apparently they changing up something. But Greenbrier is a part of it. So they going somewhere for camp. So, and they're gonna have two open practices with Minnesota, just like the Atlanta Falcons are doing with another team. I forgot which one it was. So it seems like they're gonna be joint practices with a few teams that the public can go to. So if y'all can get to Minnesota, or if it's in Greenbrier or wherever that's at, or Cleveland, if you know where it is, then y'all can go to that too. But this principle, they don't cut nobody right now. But see, to me, it's time to cut somebody. This is ridiculous. Because, here's the thing. It's true. You need to lock down who you going to have. We can't be moving all the way around like this. Because here's the reality of it. It don't matter if Shedeur is QB2 behind Flacco. Flacco haven't played a full season since when? And if you cut Flacco and surprise everybody and keep Kenny Pickett, Shedeur going to need to be ready. Kenny Pickett's completion rate in this series for the Browns was below his career. So he's not getting no better. He get worse. So I don't see them keeping Pickett and putting him first where he is behind Deshaun Watson on the depth chart. And they said if one of the rookies could get it, then they might cut Flacco. If they cut Flacco, that means they keeping who? Still gonna need to be ready. So to me, what I saw, no context, just looking at what I saw, they saw enough from Shedeur that he could be the backup. That's why he's not taking first team reps. But I needed to see Kenny Pickett to know if I'm going to trade Flacco or not. And if I'm keeping Flacco, maybe I keep Pickett too and cut Dylan Gabriel. Which one looked better out of Dylan Gabriel or Flacco today? They both had what on percentage wise. They might keep Dylan and cut Flacco. And that's what everybody seems to think. He's the odd man out because why? He's already not good as a veteran. Dylan is about where he is as a rookie. So maybe I keep Dylan and Shedeur, make Shedeur QB2, but can Cleveland swallow its pride and admit, okay, we should have drafted Dylan. We should have just stuck with Shedeur. I feel like that's the message Cleveland every day. You were supposed to get Shedeur making your franchise QB, and now you've made a mess, and now you need to fix it. But people think Kenny Pickett is the odd man out for obvious reasons. Why keep a vet whose completion rate is below his career? When you got Dylan, who's a rookie, at least Dylan can play a full game and do about just as much as Kenny Pickett. So it should not be. It should not be Shedeur. And if it is, Cleveland better find somewhere for Shedeur to go fast. Because if they put him on waiver wires and he linger for a few days, somebody gonna get hurt. I'm serious. Somebody gonna end up in the hospital behind this, and I don't mean somebody gonna physically do harm to somebody. Somebody gonna pop a vein or something. Because people are starting to lean forward and they're frustrated because this is ridiculous. You need to make a decision now and know who's going into camp so you can lock down on who's going to do what. There's no room for merry-go-round. It's not infinite time to make a decision. So I do agree with them cutting somebody tomorrow. So I'm looking in the comments to see what y'all think they're gonna do. Hey Gracie, how you doing? It said they don't want to show their hand that the other QBs, other than Flacco, struggling with the playbook or just mechanics. They are force feeding their reps. They giving Dylan, you know why? Dylan and what's his name? Dylan and Pickett had the longest road to go. If you listen to I think it was the video where what's her name? Mary Cabot was talking about. She was asked, remember? She was asked, who do you see as the best fit based on what you see out there? And what did she say? She said Flacco is Flacco. They know who he is. They said Shedeur has something about backing out the pocket. And I pointed out that's no different than tapping the ball. Maybe that's what Cleveland don't want him to do, but all the greats do it. So that wasn't a negative. That's all she had. And that's when she dipped back into he can't make negative plays like he did at CU. I'm like, wait, why are we talking about that? And people called her out on that. She has not mentioned that again ever since. And then she said what? She said Pickett needed to learn the terminology in the plays. And she said Dylan has a learning curve. To me, what I saw with Pickett and Gabriel today is exactly what she spoke to. Those two are not ready. You cannot, if Flacco go down and Shedeur is in Miami, I don't know what the hell you're going to do. You're going to have to get Sean. You're going to say, hey, buddy, how's your Achilles doing? Not those two. To be honest with you, people now see what I said. They never intended for Dylan Gabriel to start. That's not why they drafted him. And if he did, guess what they wanted him to do? Hand the ball to Quinshawn Junkins. They have a two running back set that they run. That's all you can do with Dylan. He too short. He threw a ball today. I was like, people said because he couldn't see. He couldn't see over the line. So he did it like that and threw it down on the ground. It was like, well, I guess that's better than an interception. So they know he's not the starter. And Flacco has not played a full season since when? Drop it in the chat if you feel like it. So the only person you have to play a full season is Kenny Pickett or Shedeur. One has a 50%, 55% completion rating, and the other one has a 77%. Which one you gonna go with? If you want to win. So I honestly, I said it. I said Dylan and Shedeur. Dylan and Pickett. I don't see neither one of them. I mean, you gonna pay Dylan just to sit on your bench in case something happened to the first three people? Yeah. So he like Tommy DeVito or whatever his name is. His last name is DeVito in New York. Notice how they said Winston is the odd man out. I'm like, he's the odd man out. He just got there. What's that DeVito guy that's hiding on the depth chart? That's who Dylan is. That's how they see Dylan. They don't expect him to start. They just expected him to be there in case something happened to one of these other guys. Yeah, for real. They had taken Shedeur totally out the equation. Keeping up appearances. Yep, Tuna, I agree. I totally agree that that's what it is. Hey, everybody, 72 of us, hit the like button, please. Hit the like button. It says, um, it said no, it's tarnished now. What, Miss Pamela? It said yes, he'll get the number two. Oh, okay, Miss Pamela's saying the number two is tarnished. Oh, no, I think he gonna get it. Who said that? Kill. I said it too. Think he gonna get it. Think he gonna get it. Cause see, Andre Carter is third on the depth chart. Now, I think he's a receiver. Saw a lot of people working out, but I never saw a number two. But I don't know what group he working out with. Today, Shedeur threw to the second group. Dylan threw to the third group. See, they switched it up. Yes, Dylan got first team reps, but also too, Shedeur got second team reps. So he moved up from 14 and third team, and Dylan moved down to 13. So they've been making changes that we're not really 100% aware of because we don't know who the players are. We know the guys, like I've seen 83 a couple of times, and I saw him and Shedeur do that handshake. So I was like, oh, that's his buddy. That's what I was thinking, right? But when they said Shedeur threw, Flacco didn't throw yesterday. He threw today. He was also 50 some odd percent. They all were like 55, 56, 57%. The other three. Shedeur was a standout at 77. You don't think people want to see a quarterback with 77% completion rating? Yeah. But see, it goes against the NFL. See, the NFL got their own agenda. Clearly, and they don't want these young, black, rookie QB starting. See, Jada Daniels was actually projected to be a bust because he was going to Washington, and Washington already had Magic Johnson on the ownership group. And you see, he went there and they balled out. And they got Debo Samuels, and they posted that he looked slow today, and he did. Like, I'm sure he'll get back in there. I'm sure. But when they traded for him, that was the right move because that's what they were missing when they played against Philadelphia. They didn't have no strong run game. So I knew they were gonna reload there. And to me, from what I've heard, they treat Jada Daniels like a king in Washington. That's what should be happening with Shedeur. So it's gonna be difficult. They're not gonna be able to bury him because the other three QBs are not good. They're not gonna be able to cut him. I mean, fans gonna be happy because we want him to have the opportunity to go somewhere else. But understand they could cut him and then use that to justify why he won't be a starter this year because he has to learn a new system. So that's not necessarily a good option. He's proven that he can excel here. He's proven that he can excel here. He had two misses out of the last 2 days. That's it. The interception that they have in the total column for him was actually a tip ball that a guy was triple teamed on. That ain't Shedeur. And people said that. I don't really know if you want to call that an interception. So technically, he's good. He gonna master that playbook. I heard somebody talking about the playbook. Oh, he got to get it. I'm like, get the hell out of here. Man had 6 offensive coordinators. He never had no problem learning no plays. And that's Coach Pollard from Colorado came out and said, like, was his first OC. He does not have any problem learning plays. That's what New York was trying to allude to. He failed our book. It said he is honoring his father. Yeah, Shedeur is doing his thing. Not going to worry about it. Nope. Oh, you don't think he's gonna worry about the 2, and y'all think the 12 is honoring his dad with the 21 backwards. Okay. Think they have a problem with him being QB2. Don't either. Don't either, because I'm strategic. And I see Flacco is gonna be QB1. It can't be it cannot. Kenny Pickett excluded himself from that. But see, they gonna have a problem. They took that man off a Super Bowl winning team, brought him to Cleveland, and now they gotta ship him somewhere else. And you know where I started to think they're gonna send him? To New York behind Russell. Because they talking about Winston gotta go. Why? Why DeVito can't go? And you seen Kenny Pickett over there in his sport? I mean, clearly he deserved to be over there in the fourth spot. So, DeVito just quiet collecting the check because we don't never see him. He just over there, just happened to be somewhere. And I said the same thing about Dylan. Dylan knew they were not bringing him in to start. Well, Russ is 5'11 and he's good, so I think there's more to it than the height. Pickett. Yep, Pickett. People say Pickett gonna go. Thank you, Amber. Hey, Derek, how you doing? They said Dylan took reps with the threes today. He did, and Shedeur took rep with the twos. And so it's over tomorrow. So I don't know if we're gonna get to see him, or did it end today? Hold on one second. It ends tomorrow. So we might see Shedeur with the ones tomorrow. They let him work out with the twos today, and he was what, 10 of 12? I think he was 10 of 12. Yeah, I think he was. 10 of 12 with the twos. See, it don't matter who he throw to. He make them all look good. Will Shepherd, I saw him today doing his workout for the Broncos. Let me know if y'all heard an update about if he got on or not, or how did that go? I don't know. I'm trying to see if I look at I think it was 10 or 12. But yeah, Shadeur's balling out. Balled out with the fours, balled out with the threes, apparently. Balled out with the twos. There's nothing left to go but to the ones. So here's tomorrow. If they don't let him practice with the ones, it's because of what I said. They are auditioning Kenny Pickett and or Dylan Gabriel to go somewhere else. And they need to allow as much opportunity for people to see them. They're not letting Shedeur work out with the ones because one, they don't want him to be QB1, so they like no need for you to do that. But they did let him work out with the twos, which is QB2. And myself, I'm good with that. Good with Flacco starting. Because I think Flacco, given his situation, they said he was terrible in Indianapolis. If he starts out and it don't go well, they can quickly pivot to Shedeur. But if they start Shedeur for say 11 games and they like, let's give it back over to, to what's his name, Kenny, to Flacco, and he's lose 3 games, then they gotta do Shedeur like they did Michael Penix Jr. He gotta come in here and save the rest of the day. I want that. Them to put Flacco in first so we can see what that O line do. And then Shedeur take over at week 7. They think the schedule is the hardest for the first 7 games. I want to see Shedeur and was it suggested Shedeur play in a preseason game one half and Dylan play the other. Do y'all still feel like that's necessary? Do y'all think that they ought to still split the first 3 preseason games in half? And if they still got Kenny Pickett, they're gonna let him play too, I think. Um, they y'all still think they need to go ahead and let Shedeur play one half of the preseason games and Dylan play the other and they just rotate the halves? What do y'all think about that? To see that. But okay, they moved on the roster, so let's give them some opportunities. So thank you, Amber. What if they do not cut anybody right now? Then they can just go cut them later. They just prolonging the inevitable. They just causing dysfunction. That's what they're doing. Because what they're going to have is people going for the next 30 days until we get to about July 12th thinking, is it me? Maybe I'll wait to buy my house. I mean, honestly, that's going to happen. So you might as well go ahead and rip that Band-Aid off tomorrow when practice is over. It's going to be evident as to who it is you need to move. It's evident today. Can Shedeur have a bad day tomorrow, but that ain't going to happen. What people don't realize about Shedeur is CU wasn't the only school he balled out at. He transformed every team he played on. And for people to say he played daddy ball, I can see Coach Prime out there running and catching no footballs. Shedeur still had to learn the plays. He still had to execute them in a manner so that they could win. And I watched Coach Prime on overtime. He was hard on Shedeur, especially when Shedeur was playing quarterback at Trinity. Camera, I never seen Coach Prime talk to Shedeur like that, but he just like y'all see him hard on Shiloh. Go watch overtime, year 1. He told Shedeur he was thinking up the place, yelling and screaming at him. I was like, oh, okay. The reason you don't see that now is because Shedeur is that good. So that's why you don't see that. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Cameron. Welcome and thank you so much. Thank you. Shedeur processing speed is like a 1 terabyte RAM. I totally agree. I totally agree. Totally agree. Thank you, Cameron. So they just making more dysfunction, just like Tennessee down there with Will Levis and Cam. Good evening, Jungle Brother. How you doing? Tuna said, hey, Tuna. Amber said, I think Stefanski is hiding Shedeur with the first team reps. They keep saying he stays late. Yup, I saw it today. Why are the ones struggling, not staying late? I told y'all Shedeur working out with somebody. But here's what people are saying. Who's their best wide receiver? Jerry Judy? They say they don't think he is as solid as people make him up to be. Because see, they went and got all of these. See, that's what's wrong with Cleveland. They don't want to spend no money on people, but make people like Mason Graham, and that don't make no sense. You hear them talking about him? When they said who won OTAs or minute or OTAs, Mason Graham's name was not on the list, but Shedeur's was at the top of it. So here's what they do. They giving us an inch because they don't want to give up at all. So they like, you know what? They yelling for him to play with the ones, just move him up day by day or week by week. So that's why you saw him with the twos. Because people yelling, I want my guy to get first team reps. They're like, you know what? We don't want to do this no way. Just go ahead and put him with the twos. And put Dylan with the threes. Because he's not that good. That's why people think that Dylan is gonna get cut. Because remember, he been taking first team reps. Shedeur been at the back of the line. Shedeur said what yesterday? Have time. I'm not worried about it because they don't ask you about reps in the game. He's winning. And what did they do today? They gave him the second team and they moved Dylan down because Dylan is not doing well. So they finally are demonstrating that they see what's happening on the field. Well, guess what I also heard? Uh, anonymous coaches, is that what you want to call it? But in a good way. Elite players and other personnel. He the best QB they've seen in a minute in OTAs and rookie minicamp. One guy went on the record, the best in a minute in Cleveland. That's obvious. See, this is the thing. They want to act like it's so hard. It is so different for college that that's just pretentiousness to me. You gotta come in, leave everything you find behind. We gonna mold you and shape you and teach you how to play the game. Telling Ashley Genty, no, you doing it wrong. You gotta bend your knees. Telling Shedeur after he was expertly trained by Tom Brady and Jeff Blake, you can't keep going backwards in the pocket. That's not good. Everything they critique Shedeur on it's likely what Tom Brady and Jeff Blake taught him that Tom Brady himself does, and they had no complaint about it. So they just were looking for something, but they ran out of shit to look for. They can't look for nothing else. Numbers don't lie. And to them to move Dylan down and move Shedeur up, that's probably about as far as he gonna go for a minute. And I'm fine with that. Why? I want to see what that old line do. If I gotta have on a shirt is Shedeur said it might QB1, but I need to see what that O line do first. And I'm serious. I'm serious because it's not above anybody. That what people asking before the draft took place. How many times is Shedeur Sanders going to get sacked? Because they knew what happened to Caleb. They act like it's a rite of passage, and it's not. That's what they do to try to deter these guys from starting because they want to prove if you get sacked, that's your fault. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. If you sacked excessively, and every young black QB that won the Heisman is sacked excessively, then guess what? It's a plot. And that's probably why Caleb wanted to move away from the NFL. But I don't know how they lured him back in. And now they got Shedeur. They didn't want him. They holding him back. Now they moved him up to number 2. So who's on that golf course? So I feel positive tomorrow. I think Shedeur gonna ball out again. I mean, if he already working out with the twos, there's nowhere to go but the ones. And if they don't let him work out with the ones, because he gonna be QB2. They can't fight that. At the worst, Shedeur, the worst he could be on their depth chart, and people gonna have a fit about it, is QB2. So if that's the worst I could do, I'll put it right there. Because I'm not ready to give him QB1. I got Dylan, I got Pickett. They need time to pass so we can forget. They need us to move away from the draft because they don't want us to ask what question. Was he pushed down to 144? Somebody said today, because of his name, I'm like, I will fight you tooth and nail all day long. No. Because what that does, it lets them off the hook and it assumes that Cam Ward is also Coach Prime's son. And so is Jalen Muro, Lamar Jackson, Terrell Pryor, and Joe Gilliam. And Joe Gilliam is probably older. He passed away. He's older than Coach Prime. Or they might be around the same age, but he passed away. So that's why I don't like that argument. That's why, because you're not looking at the bigger picture. You're not looking at the history. You're not looking at who were the quarterbacks in 2024. What was historic about the 2025 draft that they made sure didn't happen. That's why I don't like that argument. They are keeping up appearances. I totally agree. I totally agree. Thank you again, Cameron. Thank you so much. That was sweet. Thank you. It said right now they have the third ranked offensive line in the upcoming season. What? Jack, thank you. Okay. Okay. We said we're gonna take a look and see who on the team. All right. That's interesting. Because last year it wasn't not it was nowhere near three. Okay, we'll take a look. It said they have too much. They got too much pride. They definitely don't make didn't make Shedeur Sanders great. Right. No, they can't. And they don't the NFL don't want to admit that he came out of CU pro ready because what does that do? It confirms, just like it confirms that Jaden Daniels wasn't a fluke. It confirms that CJ Stroud wasn't a fluke. It confirms that for sure these black QBs that's coming out, dual threat or pocket passer, or pro ready. It confirms that there are college programs like CU and others getting these guys ready, but it also confirms what? What do we know? That a lot of them don't. Somebody said it yesterday or earlier. These guys paid for training. What did Shedeur do? Train, Cam, train. I wanted Miro to work out with them. And I think, it might have not helped, but anyway, so he would have had a stronger case. It might not help given this situation. But I did want him to do it. Having the best agent didn't help him. So that wouldn't help him either. But he would be further along had he. I will say that. Caden already looks good. All of these guys, they paid money to work out, to train, to get better. They don't just sit around in the summer. They train in the summer. Whether it's Miami and afterwards they on a yacht. The point is they all meet up in the same location and they train. That's what they do. They don't allow themselves to just live whatever and then I'll go back in and grind it out for 30 days and get back in shape. They eat well, they have chefs, they train, they travel, and when they travel, they still training. I've never seen anybody else do that. I've seen them come back early. Like some of the guys came back for voluntary OTAs. I saw Jalen Hurts working out the week before that. So he came back a week early. But Shedeur them train in the off season. Yeah, that's good. Let them rotate. There's a good chance, a good look the first team and second team. Right. Yeah. So that's what I'm with. And I think Cleveland likes that too. It's that Cleveland is not ready. They don't have a story yet. I need a story. I need a story on what I'm gonna do with Dylan. I need a story on why I'm putting Shedeur in front of him. I need a story. Thank you, Tuna. That's sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Y'all take this channel to the next level. Uh, I need a story. What could they say? I mean, we see Shedeur better than Dylan, but how do you explain it? Oh, Shedeur Sanders gonna be our franchise QB. We running after him hot and heavy. And then we had Deshaun Watson, but what happened? We can't get him no more. We buried under there. Then they go for Dylan. Then they get Dylan, and they swear Dylan better than Shedeur. Then Shedeur bows out. Then they still putting Dylan in front of Shedeur. Oh, Shedeur can't get the coveted 11 on 11 reps like Dylan did. Y'all know who said that. And Kevin Stefanski was like, yes, he did. He did it when she couldn't see. And then she was like, no, it didn't happen. I'm like, so now y'all gonna fight. And then now, this week, Shedeur bows out. Dylan got first team reps yesterday. Today, Dylan working with squad 3, and Shedeur is now up to 2. And people are like, okay, I can live with that. I can live with that. See, nobody is saying you need to trade Flacco. Nobody is saying they don't like. I told you, I posted it. I like the Flacco Shedeur duo. I like that. Did you see the chemistry they have together when they on the practice thing or whatever, and Flacco showing them what to do? Them two right there, I think they could do it because Shedeur can learn from Flacco. Look how excited he was When he and Coach Prime were at the house talking, and I know that's gonna make the Netflix documentary on draft night. Shedeur was like, they got to and look hot, smiling from ear to ear on the first day. It was just him and Flacco. And then he talking to him, asking about the dance, but Flacco was like, yeah, I never do that. But then the next day, the day Flacco don't take no reps, he like, hey, Shedeur, I'm like, hey, yeah. Shedeur said he comfortable. Flacco come back around the next day. Thank you so much. Thank you, Tuna. Um, you know, I see change. Now, if we don't see Mary Catherine and we see Ashley, then, somebody put some time on her calendar and told her to shut the hell up. But people on her neck and not me. Because I said what I had to say and I moved on. I'll say what I have to say and I'm going to move on. So people on her neck, they calling her out. So today, Dylan Gabriel threw a touchdown in the back of the end zone and the guy was on the other side. He wasn't in the touchdown area. He was on the other side, like where the goalpost would be. And somebody posted, oh, where Mary Cabot camera at so she could look and see if his foot was on line. Because she made such a big deal out of reviewing a play. And somebody said, we reviewing plays in OTA? Like she just really wanted to say that wasn't a touchdown for Shedeur. So she was all for Dylan beating out Shedeur. And I don't care what nobody say, that woman is not acting on her own accord because somebody would have told her to sit the hell down by now. So to see Shedeur see Shedeur comfortable, for him for me to see him say he's comfortable, I'm more comfortable. I'm comfortable in Cleveland now was the proper thing, but he didn't have to say that. I knew. And then to see Flacco go to him and was like, hey, do it like this, and he opened. That's it. But you know why Flacco like that? Because either he felt bad and he heard what they were saying on the internet because people were like, oh, Flacco want him to get the hell on. Well, somebody pulled his coattail and say, hey, it would be good if you would impart your knowledge. But we're going to have to find somewhere else for you to go. And he know he wasn't good last year. So see how the Lord go before you make the crooked places straight. So there we go. We just straightened that out on the outside. So we got the field together. The ones ready. The ones are ready in practice. You see all the fun that the guys Shedeur was balling with, the 4s and the 3s, and now the 2s. He done threw the ball to everybody. Tomorrow, all that's left is the ones. And if they don't do it, because they don't want to do it. And honestly, if there was not a moratorium, meaning no team can get him just like in the draft, nobody can get him. If not, then I would tell you, oh, they don't want another team to see him ball out because I know what they're going to do. I saw them do it already. They was going to go into Carolina and take Bryce away from the Panthers. They can do that to each other. That's how I know there's a moratorium, there's orders, there's directive. No. Just like we know Jerry Jones would have got Shedeur. You don't think Jerry Jones would have been happy to get Shedeur Sanders for $4 million? It wouldn't surprise me is when they lift the moratorium, they start fighting over who gonna get him. Oh yeah, I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. Because see, they gonna get to that point. You can't fight this forever. You already losing. The media is breathing down your neck. National and local. National gotta walk with it a certain way, but the local is putting it out there. Podcasters have told you what they think. I mean, you don't have nowhere else to go. You are backed into a corner because you don't have anybody better. You got to cut somebody. And sure, you could drag it out to July 12th. You could. It's just going to create dysfunction. Shedeur's going to be the same person he was yesterday. Him and Flacco just going to get closer. I think Flacco has accepted the fact that Shedeur is better than him. And I thought somebody said he's sick. So I'm happy because it's going the way I want it to. Meaning, we see the truth is undeniable. And I see you hearing us and other people or somebody is applying pressure. I'm going to say it that way. Somebody is applying pressure. So he's with the tools. That's pressure. Understand that. And it's time for them to make a cut. So let me just go ahead on. And maybe if I put Dylan down, it'd be easy for me to say, well, buddy, we gave you a chance, I mean, they admitted they took a big swing and miss with Deshaun Watson, so they shouldn't have too much pride to say, yeah, we should have just kept with Shedeur, but we were scared because, we don't know. I'm sure they'll come up with a lot. I'm sure they've done it before. So I'm happy. I'm happy that jersey look good. If y'all ordered y'all 12, anybody got the jersey already, please take a photo and tag me on any platform that you on at What She Said Sports because they're pretty and I wanted to share the picture. And I had one with Shady McCoy, but I was like, it was kind of fuzzy, so I couldn't really get it. Uh, but they're pretty. That brown one is beautiful. And I don't know why. Maybe the studio lights or something. People say they didn't like the colors, but it's mostly brown. The 12 is white with some like trim color, maybe the orange or something. It looks good. And I'm assuming because Shady got his, I'm assuming other people's are now getting theirs in the mail, which means what? Remember the other day, was it Tuna? Tuna, was it you that said you ordered your jersey and you didn't get it yet because they hadn't decided on a number? Flacco said he doesn't want to mentor Shedeur. Yeah, he did say that, but he doing better. So I think somebody talked to him. He did say that, but he caught flack and tried to clean it up the next day. It says if they show him with the ones, his numbers will be the same, and so will theirs. Right. Right. Because isn't he the only quarterback out of college in the draft that have all his receivers associated with an NFL team? Yeah. Even Will Shepard is with the Broncos working out, and he might get it. He looked good to me. They do have good chemistry. It's like the big bro, little bro. Right. And Shedeur, he loves it. He's like, they got Flacco like a kid. I mean, he was happy because why? He grew up watching this man. And now I get to learn from him. See, Shedeur has never been a person that I can't learn from you. I don't know if any of them are like that. Who remembers Goldberg and see you walking up to Jordan Seaton as he was coming out the tunnel to give him some type of wisdom or instruction? And I don't even know if Seaton knew who he was, but we were talking about it. And people were like, you know what I said? I don't know if he knew who he was, but he listened. He listened. He wasn't arrogant. That's not who they are. Partly because of who Coach Prime is, and partly because of who the program they come from, the culture. You rid yourself of that and see you. That's why some guys don't make it. That's why some guys don't make it. They think they know better. They think they could do better. They don't trust the process. They don't want to do the work. We've seen it all. Think I could do better. Okay. Hop in the portal. They want to offer me money. Okay. Hop in the portal. It's at least 3 people that hopped in the portal, and 3 have said they lied and ended up not at CU. And the food they eat alone is enough to make me stay. So, I think it's because of the culture that they come from. And we were talking about this after the draft. I said, imagine going to CU and you come from a program where Coach Prime is giving you financial literacy and teaching you how to conduct yourself in the NFL, and you surrounded by NFL coaches and you hear discipline and integrity and respect and self-worth and priorities. But then you get to the NFL and it's just a goddamn circus. Leave everything. Don't bring nothing with you. We don't want Shedeur because he got an entourage. I mean, all of this. And they want to make it seem like it's so on a different echelon or a zenith. And it's not. They don't want to admit that these college programs are right there. They don't want to admit that these black elite QBs are pro ready and they can start first year. And like Jaden Daniels, they can go on to win Offensive Player of the Year. And I think unanimous MVP for Lamar Jackson. They don't want to admit that. And that's what's wrong with the NFL. They stuck somewhere. And somebody used the term on X. This is not about sports. This is about y'all with your personal biases. I'm like, yep, that's a good way to say it. That's a good way. That's what this is about. Y'all not evaluating these players based on their skills. You're evaluating these players based on your biases. Yes, that's what it is. So I just liked it and reposted it. Because that's what it is. You can call it biases, you can call it racism, you can call it discrimination, you can call it foolishness, you can call it what the hell you want, but it's all the same thing. And they need to stop. They gonna upend the whole damn league. Somebody gonna have to start something else if they don't let this go because it's getting look how bad it is. We out here paying 2% battery life for all the money while we robbing the talent and we benching the talent just to have what mediocrity? It means that much to you. So that's what it is. So yeah, I love their chemistry. Flacco and Shedeur. Coach Prime nicknamed Shedeur Grown when he was a little kid because he had the mindset way above his age. Right? And Tennessee actually said that. They said he's very mature, very professional. When he did that interview, and I don't even know if he thought about it, because it was just a random interview, right? He didn't practice. It was just a random interview. He didn't know what they was gonna ask. He could have went and practiced in front of the mirror, his public speaking skills, but you don't know what questions they gonna ask you. Did he know that that lady was gonna ask him about his dad? Which we don't know why she did that. But it's her, so we get it. It's not right, but nobody seems to tell her to stop. So people just going in on her. They said he is answering these questions like a 10-year veteran. They said Shedeur has the touch on the ball like a vet. He balling out better than the vets. The ones want to see him. We might see him tomorrow. Then again, if we don't, I'm fine with the twos because I told you the O line. That's all I want to see that. And since they got the number 3 O line, I want to see. But again, we don't know if Flacco gonna make it through all 7 games. And in order for him to do that, he can't take no hits, which means what? He can't take no significant hits. He gotta pass that ball off to Quinshawn Junkins because I think that's their number 1. And he good and he's fast, but we knew that from what the Natty saw. And he and Shedeur seem to be cool too. It said Flacco said no. He did say that. He did say he don't want to mentor them. It said, "Yup, it's all how Prime trained him, had him start as a QB to learn before training at his age." Right. And Coach was hard on Shedeur. If they show those overtime clips, I don't know if they copyrighted or not. I would because honestly, I think this is a good time to go back and look at that. Just like I went back and looked at all the criticism that CU was getting ahead of the TCU game. And I even posted under the facility. I said, this is the same negative conversation about Shedeur that was had before Colorado played its first game against TCU with Shedeur in the Coach Prime era. I sure did. And guess what happened? Ooh, that was a good game. 45-42, back and forth, and 500 yards. I was like, yeah, I think this is where we headed. And there are people that want to see Shedeur week 1 against Joe Burrow. I would like to see that. But then there are people that are like, you shouldn't start him at week 1, but I don't know why. Because they pointed out, Jaden Daniels started week 1 and he just fine. CJ Stroud, week 1, he just fine. See, again, there are people who do not want to see who take the helm week 1 and ball out and get all the way either to the Super Bowl or close to it. They don't want to see that. They fighting it. And they can't. The guy's still coming out of school. They can't win. I think if the Bengals, what is it, the Browns played Jacksonville, sell out. Sell out. And a lot of fans are coming from where? People that probably went to a Cleveland game. They probably like, let me get your tickets. Let me buy your tickets from you. We will want to see that. And then a lot of us want to see what? Cam versus Shedeur, and that's the back end of the season. So we gonna get to see that. Hopefully, they let Shedeur play. Hopefully, Cleveland is done with the shenanigans by the time we get to preseason because now they got 30 days to get it together. Whether they cut somebody tomorrow or they start doing the right thing tomorrow. But the fact that he made it to 2 and Flacco is coming around and the chemistry is visible and the exchange is both ways, something has changed. Something has changed. And I'm happy about that. I'm happy. I'll take 2 for now. Mary Kay actually admitted Shedeur has done everything the Browns have asked of him. Oh, what? Another from negative to positive. with something positive to say. That's another one. They're having conversations in conference rooms. Yes, sir. Somebody gonna get cut, and we gonna see our guy. There you go. See, that's why I feel so good. I can feel it coming on. Okay. So even Mary Kate admitted it. What? It said, "Yup, it's all about yup." Oh, it's all about prime. It said yes, but what it say? Yes, but what? He looks like a vet. Shedeur does look like a vet, Amber, because he sure ain't going to the Hall of Fame. Who are you talking about? To the Hall of Fame. So they saying yes, it got to him. He don't want to go down as the Grinch, right? And you know what people said? He ought to be happy to be there because he was not good last year. And when he came off the practice squad for Cleveland, he did. After he lost the first game, but he took a winning record, lost the first game, won the other four. But when they needed him in the crunch, he took a hit in the game before the game that they needed him, which was taking them to the playoffs. And he couldn't play. And they put in somebody who had never played all season, which was crazy. That was essentially like Shedeur and Deshaun Watson playing through 7 games and coming up with a 7-4 record. Turning it over to Flacco, who came off the practice squad. He lose the first one, but they give him the opportunity to win the others, and he does. And then he get hurt, but they don't go back to Deshaun or Shedeur. They go to Dylan. That's essentially what they did in 2023. I'm like, what? Why would you do that? He didn't even play. He didn't eat. That guy name wasn't even on the pre-ski season stats. It's like they just got somebody else. I'm like, that's crazy. It's like that's crazy. They was playing keep away with something. Tell us about it. I said all of them gonna need to be hurt for this to make any kind of sense. So yeah, he said dude not going to the Hall of Fame. Yeah. So Flacco was showing him how to get his reads done faster. Okay, Amber, I like that. I like that. That's what's up. So yeah, I'm good with that. I'm just happy to see the chemistry, Floyd. I'm happy to see the interaction both ways. You could see it, and somebody pointed it out when Shedeur and Flacco. The day before Flacco was wired up, which was taking us into the weekend last weekend, like last Thursday or Friday. It must have been Thursday, and somebody pointed out Dylan Gabriel and Kenny Pickett have no place here. Look at these two. I'm like, yeah. And Shedeur was just eating it up because it's Flacco. They got Flacco. You know? And like Flacco said, he was either almost there enough to play with Coach Prime, and now he's playing with his son. And whatever it is that he was feeling, and it's probably from all the negativity that was floating around there, the environment was negative. That's why Shedeur wasn't comfortable. And you see that changed. Flacco changed, in my opinion. Shedeur is now at 2. Mary Cabot, not negative, made a positive comment. Somebody is having conversations. These conversations are coming from somewhere. And I don't think it's Andrew Berry. I don't think it's Kevin Stefanski. Either they all got into it behind a closed door and decided to all come out and start treating him with respect. Because he said, what? I feel comfortable in. Yeah, I feel comfortable in Cleveland. Because he wasn't. They were intentionally making him not feel welcome. Guilty. They was guilty because they knew. They knew he was supposed to be their franchise QB, and they kicked him to the curb and decided to put Dylan over him, and how that's working out. Peer pressure. Yep. There's definitely some conversations that happened. And somebody that got a phone call from somebody. Now, I don't know who that could be because I already know the league is in on it. So somebody must be pressuring the league, and the league is pressuring the owners. That's the only way it's making sense. And we're going to see tomorrow. Tomorrow's the last day. If he stay at 2, that means that's the most they willing to budge, but at least they respectful. Somebody is applying pressure. Now, unless somebody that went and sued Cleveland, but they not treating Shedeur like that no more. So something changed. Something. We can all agree on that. We'll figure it out what it is eventually, but I ain't worried about it right now. Will it work on Flacco? Maybe not. Peer pressure? It could have. Shady McCoy says we better get our 12. He is hilarious. He is Team Shedeur all day. And Chase again. People like, do we just live to hate on Shedeur? He was like, well,
No, starting week one is a rookie. People like, dude, you were a backup for 12 years. It's like it's eating at him for Shedeur to be good. Else he hate on like this. I need to go look. Again, I don't have that kind of time. But it's obvious. And people be eating him up in the comments. I think they only have him on the show for his objections. I really do. Because he does make people upset. So maybe they like that and it brings views. But he's so negative about Shedeur. Well, I mean, how many quarterbacks that have won MVP started in week one? I'm like, Jada Daniels won offensive player of the year, rookie year. That's good. CJ Stroud started week one, put his team on his back. So see, his argument isn't satisfactory. He just need a reason to hate. And that's why Shady called out Chase and said, you didn't want him to win, did you? And they got into it. They got into it. I think they show got to be the best right now. Ray Lewis called Flacco. Somebody called somebody, and if somebody can send out a memo or something, hey, y'all better be respectful to Shedeur. And I don't know why. I don't know if the moments when they realized Coach Prime wasn't sick, they scared they was gonna get sued. Know what it is, but I can tell when a company is doing an about face. When the culture was toxic and suddenly it starts to change. I told y'all Mary Cabot was not acting independently, and y'all see now she on the right side. So somebody done been talked to by somebody else, and I don't know who it is because I know the league ain't they get on it too. But then again, there is that lawsuit out there, and they don't want to appear what? Okay, so maybe they like it could be the general counsel. Look here. Okay, y'all done did all this in the draft of him, and now y'all continuing it, and people can see it and they talking about it, how y'all mistreating him. So if you don't want to be sued or have to sell your team, y'all gonna have to straighten up the culture over here because it's toxic and people are talking. That could have happened. You can get sued for this. This workplace discrimination. You excluded him. You making him uncomfortable. That's toxic. You harassing him. We got this guy who's supposed to be taking his pictures, asking him about his hair. See, that's not you can't do that. You can't do none of that. You can't make him feel like he's in a hostile workplace. That's workplace harassment. That's workplace misconduct. And that's where the Attorney General from the United States coming in. And maybe she made the phone call. How you doing, Roger? I just want to put it out here that this has elevated to my level. That there's a young man that's in a hostile environment on one of your teams, and it seems like it's going to boil over if things don't straighten out fast. So, the fact that my office and the 52 lawyers that work here got wind of it, you might want to go ahead and tell them they need to straighten up, and that happens too. That happens, and they were just sued, I think, in 2023 for workplace misconduct. So it could happen, but somebody made a phone call. People were getting their jerseys last week. Oh, okay, I hadn't seen anybody. I saw a couple of people on TikTok with them. Okay, that's what I was wanting to see. So I'm gonna have to go over there. Okay, thank you. Who is that? K Hayes, thank you so much. It said, that's what's up. Yep, that's what's up. Amber said, yes, Flacco was showing him how to get his reads done fast. And he did say he wanted to work on that. So that's good. Great show. Shedeur Sanders, the GOAT. I say so, Evans. Did you see Travis' new house? No, but I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. Is it on the lake where he could fish? I knew it was coming. I'm sure it's probably on TikTok. D-Lake. Let me know if it's on TikTok. I'm sure I'll see it. I had a feeling he was somewhere buying a house because we hadn't seen his wife, so I knew they were busy. Guess it got to him. He don't want to go down as a Grinch. No, and somebody pulled his chain too, because he had to come back the next day and clean that up, and that also could contribute to what? That also could contribute to Shedeur being uncomfortable and the hostile environment being hostile. NFL is owned by old billionaires, right? I don't even know if they own social media because he sure ain't going to the Hall of Fame. Not from where I could see, and I haven't watched his career, but the fact that he even have a job for 7 games, I don't think a lot of people that were black would get that opportunity. He looks like a vet, smooth and comfortable out there. Shedeur does. He does. Cameron said 100%. Can we get 21 more likes? Gracie doing her thing. 21 more likes. There's 72 of us. Y'all get the likes up for me. Just take a minute and look at the likes. That's fine. We actually are hour in, so we get ready to wrap up. This is good. It says, if he's QB2, I'm good. Let him learn. And when he hits the field, he won't skip a beat. Facts. He's only going to get better, K. Hayes. So I agree with you. I'm good with QB2. Amber said Flacco looks so smooth, he will probably start the season. I think they know he's the undeniable starter and he could handle 7 games because that's the most he's played. 7 or maybe 8. But it don't get no better than that since 2017. These people know what time it is. They just acting dumb because they don't want to praise Coach Prime. I think it's that, but I'll take that. I'm sure that has something to do with it. But again, they were dogging CU out before the first game. You talking about TCU? Yeah, that's crazy. They just knew they was gonna lose, and then they beat TCU, and they just knew they was gonna lose to Nebraska. And then we went into what? I think it was CSU, and that was a dogfight. That game right there is a dogfight. They have pregame TikToks on that one because it was so you know, rah. It's better Shedeur doesn't start right away against all them playoff teams. Me, I think he'll be fine, but I'm gonna agree with you, Cameron, because you know why? I just think that I want to see what. See, I don't want nobody to put Shedeur out there and play him like they did at CU because they did. You know what Coach Prime said? We just couldn't protect him. That's all he can say. And when you say something like that, it makes you scratch your head and go, why not? Because they tried everything and it didn't work. Because that's what people wanted to do. That's why year 2, it was only on one side. And I told you, I really thought it was weird. I really did. I didn't think anybody from year 1 would be back. So was anybody surprised when the center had issues? I wasn't. Because I don't think that was a good idea. And I don't know why that was the case. Maybe he was there already. I don't believe Coach Prime had to have some kind of pressure with a few of these players that people wanted to stay, regardless of what Coach Prime wanted to do. Charlie Offerdahl worked out, but the center did not. And he was part of that O-line the year before. And there were people that say they felt like, so I wasn't surprised that the snap fluffle started to happen because he was tapping out. And he's at Rutgers. Something about his brother went there. So they have some kind of connections. Dylan lit TCU up. Okay. In 2023, what was he at? Oklahoma? Let me know, K. Hayes. I don't really have a problem with Flacco starting, but I was referencing Shedeur. Oh, that's Cameron. Okay. Hey, Jerry. It said cautiously continue to watch what they do, not what they say. I agree. Because you did warn us about that. And so far, you've been spot on about that. Thank you, Jerry. Lord willing, the best thing happened in Cleveland since LeBron, once he gets going. People have been saying that. They said on some of these talk shows, instead of talking about LeBron, now they're talking about Shedeur. I said Shedeur does have the potential to be the LeBron James of the NBA. And I think they know that too. And they don't want that. But that's crazy. It's supposed to be a business, not a country club. All that woman wants is a negative quote from Shedeur so she can run with it. Yeah, she needs to stop. People praise him for the way he answered her. The reasons Mary Cabin said the truth about Shedeur was because Dylan Gabriel looked so bad against the first team. Thank you, 2020. Thank you, 22. So 22 said she didn't get no memo. She just couldn't deny it no more because Dylan sunk up the place. Okay, I take it. I didn't see it, so I'll take it. Welcome back, 22. I disagree. Jerry said, I disagree. If he's okay, if he's I disagree. If he's the best QB, he should start. He's ready. Now I agree with that. But we gotta be real realistic here. What have we seen happen to Shedeur that we did not see at Jackson State, that we saw at 2 years in a row at CU? Right. And I'm sorry, but I happen to believe all these people know each other in some way, shape, or form. So I can see it being a setup. Yeah, put him out there. And then they try to embarrass him. I'm not trying to see that at all. This needs to be fair, square, and it's already not. The QB battle is not a battle. I don't even know when the hell that ended, or if it, I don't think it ever was. Saying that Shedeur on the back of the line because he was drafted in the fifth round, that made it unfair because they know he's not a fifth round talent because they were the ones that were going to make him their franchise QB. So if they don't conduct this fairly, he's in a hostile environment. He feels it. He's sleeping with the lights on. He's not comfortable enough to be himself, but his teammates are excited. But then we see everybody coming around, and then he comfortable, and then Flacco, after he didn't want to mentor him, comes around and starts imparting his wisdom. Okay, we don't know about Kevin, but the point is we see change. Something has changed. If they show him with the wands, if they show him with the wands and he shines, you can't unsee it. Facts. And I don't think that's why we're gonna see it. I mean, we could. I mean, I'm open-minded about tomorrow. Open-minded about tomorrow because I didn't expect him to be with the tools today. No, I started to see change when I saw Flacco be different. I saw change when I saw Shedeur do this. Noticed and observed change when he said he was comfortable. I looked at the way he was talking. And now we see him with the tools after that. That's changed. Something has changed. But I'm not ready to put him out there. He should start. But I need to see what the hell the O-line look like first. They say they rank number 3. Let me see it. I don't want to see it in the preseason. I need to see it when it counts. Because I don't want them to set Shedeur up. I don't trust these people yet. I'm about to go, okay, I see 30% change. Oh, I see 60%. I need to get over here. Because I didn't forget what happened in the draft. I was negatively affected by that. I was upset. I was hurt. Yes, I was traumatized. I felt like somebody stabbed me in the back or my jugular. Either one. I didn't forget, and I'm not going to forget. And if you know me, I don't. When I see that they are all consistently treating him respect, not asking him about his hair when he's supposed to be just taking pictures, he shouldn't be having to deal with that. He should be treated like a king also. It should be a team by team situation where Jaden Daniels is treated by a king, and Shedeur Sanders, who we all know is the best QB, and what he went through in the draft is still enduring this. So I feel like somebody told on somebody, and somebody somewhere is straightening it out. That's how I feel. Whether it's the New York Attorney General, which I believe, and that's what I'm gonna go with. That's what I'm gonna go with. Right, so we're gonna get ready to get out of here. I'm gonna read some more comments. Camera says schedule is brutal. 5 of the first 6 games are against playoff teams, with 3 in a row. Okay, on the road. I want Flacco to start. Okay, so what does that tell you? The people that said they want Flacco to start were being genuine. The schedule is harder up front. Let the vet take it. Shedeur ain't gonna fight that. I ain't gonna fight it either because I want to see what the O-line do. That gives me 7 games, which is about 7 or 8 is the most he's played since 2017. That gives us 7 games to see what the O-line look like. And if something happens to Flacco, Shedeur got to be ready. But we know he will be. He's ready now. But you do have to take a precaution after people have been abused or mistreated or disparaged or treated, like they're orphan or something. You have to sit back and go, okay, let me see how they're going to work first. Let me make sure all the bells and whistles work first. And then I'll put him in to make sure they're not setting him up. And the moment I see any propriety, it's going to get called out. That's what you're supposed to do after what Shedeur endured in the draft. When you see them holding Cam, making Cam compete with the guy that failed last year or trying to bury Jalen Milroe on the depth chart. Because why? There were 15 black QBs that started the 2024 season, and they know it was about to be 16, 17, and 18. So, yeah, I'm going to be skeptical. Healthy skepticism is warranted. was talking about Dylan Edwards. Oh, okay. I thought you meant Dylan Gabriel played against TCU. No, Dylan Edwards did good. I don't know where he is now, but he did good. He found out. That's why I was shocked when he left CU, to be honest. Um, yeah, so I heard the O line wasn't that good last year. It wasn't, but they got some more players. But see, they didn't prioritize two things, and this is how I figured out their strategy. Cleveland did not prioritize the O line in the NFL draft, nor did they prioritize wide receivers. That's crazy. So that meant you was gonna run a ground game because you got two running backs. So when you got Dylan, you was like, yeah, I know he's short, but he can hand off the ball and he cheap. We'll get him. That's what they did. And then here comes Shedeur back around because what did Stefanski say? I told you the Lord works in mysterious ways. If he told him that, it's because he was gonna already go there. Why else would he tell him that? Because he was gonna be their franchise QB, and they pivoted regardless of the reason why they did. And then Stefanski came back and said, I told you the Lord works in mysterious ways. It's true. Because nobody expected that phone call or that text message to come from 47 at all. People were like, is this a Jedi mind trick? That's our people. That's what I said. I'm like, is this a Jedi mind trick? Because this is not supposed to be happening. But it did. And it worked. It worked. I am still shook over the draft and all of the money he lost. Right. And see, I talked about that earlier. We're not going to get so excited that they want to make him get out there and play 11 games for $4 million when they were ready to pay him 40. Whatever Travis's contract is, that's what Shedeur's money is. They just gave it to Travis, and then they gave Shedeur Travis's number. That's why I don't like calling him 12, because it makes me think of Travis. They know what they're doing. But then again, since things are changing, he just might find that too in his locker once they make the final decision as to who being cut. And then if they decide to let Shedeur go on because the owner's been talking, you know what? Let's just move on. We got a phone call from the New York Attorney General. We need to put him on another team. Maybe he go to the Ravens or something. I don't know. I'm not gonna be sad as long as they are being giving him a fair opportunity and they not just moving him around thinking he can't learn, which is what they said in the draft. I agree. Let the team show what they are made of before Shedeur gets thrown into that mess. Yep. That's it. And that's the hill I'll be on. That's the hill I'll be on. I'm happy with Joe Flacco and Shedeur. I like that duo. Love the chemistry. Glad to see everybody changing and treat him with respect like they want him there. I'm happy to see Shedeur being comfortable enough to do this and say it out loud, verbalize it. I don't know who pulled that chain, but I know it's pretty high up, and that's what I want to happen. Flacco can start, so we can see what that O line do, and they better be consistent and better act like they want to win. And it's enough people on that team to call some of them people out if one or two of them want to play. And I saw who's on the golf course, so I'm gonna be watching. So I'm glad some of us agree. It's not all, but some of us agree. We need precautions in place to make sure Shedeur is good. And I do think he need to get his money. Jerry said, I just don't think the players will tolerate that behavior from other players, allowing him to be hit on purpose. Shedeur is well liked. I mean, what happened at CU though? I mean, that's to say that they didn't like him at CU, and I don't think that's the case. I mean, what could Jordan Seaton do? He on the left side. Can I really see what's going on the right? I mean, you can watch film, and I do think some people called it out, and the coach still did not make adjustments, which is why I think they got like a coach and two other assistant co-coaches because they trying to make sure that if one person tripping, the other two can say, "Hey, he tripping." That's why I think they setting that up like that because they tried everything and people still got away with it. That Nebraska game, bro, that was nothing but set up. That's all that was. And I don't know, people knew, I don't think anybody knew Jerry Jones was trying to make a damn decision, but a decision was made. And that's fine, because he probably didn't need to be there anyway. But I'm going to tell you right now, if Shedeur had been drafted by Dallas at any position, he would be a starter because that is clearly in development. So, and that would be good for the organization, but that's how you know it was collusion. Remember when they humbled Cam Newton by letting him take all of those hits with no calls?
They turned Superman back to Clark Kent and sent him to New England. And not only did they send him to New England, they said he was untradeable. They said they could not find a suitable trading partner or a trading partner. And the way Cam talked about New England and Bryce Young, I'm like, did you forget your time in Carolina? That didn't go well. But
they seem like he done blocked it out or something. He done blocked it out or something. So yeah, I do. And they said he was untradeable. They did him dirt for sure. He shouldn't even want to talk about them. But apparently he has good members. Cameron, yep, 100%. It said the thing changed today because the owner was out there watching today, and Shedeur was the owner's pick. Okay, right. How was the owner out there today? Oh, did y'all see Charles Woodson out there today? Was he out there with the owner? I'm gonna have to go back and look. I'm gonna have to watch a few videos and see if I can put it together and see if I see Woodson out there. So the owner was out there today. It ain't like he don't know what they doing. Even if he not involved in the day to day, he get a report. You don't think he know Mary Cabot? 31 years. So thank you for that 22. I'm gonna go and look. I can see the refs allowing him to be hit, not blowing the whistle. Yeah, I can. I can too. That's why I said I need to see first. Hey Jackie, how you doing? Welcome back. It says CU year one was jealousy and hate. Yup. And purposely blown assignments on the O line. Yup. In year two, Benson was the frame, getting tore out the frame. He was. He was. I have two videos on that time. Feel free to watch one of them. I'm serious. All right. We better get out of here. We put it on another 2 hour live stream, an hour and 21 minutes. All right, spam, hey Jackie. It said, yup. See, that's why I don't think anybody from year one should have ever been allowed to come back. Because why? It's like they had somebody. Oh, you want to get rid of us? Okay, all right. And they kept one. And the damage was done. The coach didn't make it no better. The combination of the two. And then there's Benson. Egyptian Queen, welcome, welcome. I think Flacco needs to start this off game one. We need to see how the O line is blocking for Flacco. I agree. I agree. And if the same line blocks the same for Shedeur, if he's named QB2. Right. And what you're looking for, is it the same players? Did they rotate? Because see, if you rotate and you go to the backups for Shedeur, then they can lead behind the excuse, oh, they just need to practice more. See, that's what I'm looking for. Looking for fairness. Looking for who is on this line. Because again, they did not prioritize the O line in the draft. They got a defensive tackle. That's crazy. That's crazy. You need at least two O linemen, and you start with a defensive tackle. Honestly, Cleveland's defense wasn't that bad. They say their secondary is trash. I was like, I didn't think that, but that's what people are saying. They say they have, if they got three guys on defense as corners, two of them are expendable. I was like, well, good. Maybe they could get Cameron Silver Craig from Jacksonville. Shiloh's a safety, so I don't think he would work. But that would be an extra set of eyes. But, they good. But I was thinking, I mean, if they say their corner's not good and Cameron Silver Craig is listed as a quarterback, then, if he is, he could be a safety also. But if he's a quarterback, I'm like, they should get him from Jacksonville. And BJ Green, I didn't see him on the depth chart, but he's still there. They could get him too. Why don't the owner tell them to play Shedeur with the ones? Oh, see, Jerry asking a real question. So if the owner was out there today, why was he okay with them putting him up to two? See, he probably is out there today and they put him with the twos so people can know that that's his decision. That he's the one making the decisions like I said he is. He passed on Shedeur just like Jerry Jones did. 13 quarterbacks were taken in the draft, which means 12 teams passed up Shedeur
even as a backup, a fourth string, an undrafted free agent, anything. That's how you know it's collusion. Hit the like button. Thank y'all so much. Hit the like button on the way out. All right. Still 72 of us, so we hanging in there. All right. We get ready to go. Thank you, Egyptian Queen. So yeah, I agree. Flacco can start. So I think we good there. I think we can leave it right there. Flacco can start. So now tomorrow we want to see is the last day of mandatory mini camp. Yeah. Last day is tomorrow. Rumors there's a cut coming after somewhere around practice. It's probably Kenny Pickett. And then we're gonna see before practice ends. I'm sure we'll get alerts and people can watch and see the video when it's put out because I'm assuming it's open. We can see if Shedeur was still practicing with the tools. If he is, then that's the furthest they want him to go, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that because I know Flacco is the starter and he has not played a full season since when 2017. So let him start, and then Shedeur will eventually take the reins over. And then they could get that running game that they paid for off the ground in the first several weeks. And maybe they can actually defeat some of these teams and Shedeur can get a winning record and keep it going. I think that says a lot too. I think it's better for him to get a winning record than it is for him to be under the gun, but he's done it before. See, Shedeur is not new to transformation and transforming teams. So even if he was handed a winning record, I don't want him to be in that position, but I know he could be fine with it. He would not be flabbergasted at all. 92.3 radio in Cleveland. Tina said, yup. 92.3 reported that the Lions want Shedeur on a trade. Uh-oh. That's the third time we didn't heard that. 92.3 in Cleveland just said the Detroit Lions whispers about acquiring Shedeur. Okay. Jared Goff is 2% battery life. Now he got to go learn another system. What y'all think about that? Some people like, yeah, just get him the hell out of Cleveland. I'm like, nah, he got to start all over. Geno Smith. What y'all think before we wrap up? What y'all really think? How you really feel about it? The whispers of, I guess Jacksonville ain't happening this. The whispers about Shedeur being traded to Cleveland. I mean to Detroit, to the Lions, behind Jared Goff. Where's Teddy Bridgewater? Because his name came up today. Does anybody know that Teddy Bridgewater is still in the league? I meant to look that up. Let me know if you know. But then also too, if somebody knows that's one. Two, how do you feel about the trade whispers? Seeing Shedeur ball out in Cleveland and get the hang of it in Cleveland. A, to leave Cleveland, thank God. And B, now he got to start all over. What's the priority? Leave him where he is? Since we going to be good in Cleveland? Or send him to the Lions because Cleveland is trash. And he only going to be there probably to the end of the season anyway. And let him go to the Lions where he could maybe stay and inherit take over the role for Jared Goff, like Teddy Bridgewater, but permanently. What y'all really think? Let me see. Let me see what y'all saying. Kenny Stabler 12 is retired. Oh, okay. Didn't he play for Dallas? It said, I'm with it. That Browns draft room, I'm still not over. And no first team reps yet. Let's go, Shedeur, to Detroit. Better team. He can do it. Okay, so Morning Coffee said it's best for Shedeur to go to Detroit. What else y'all saying? Yes, Bridgewater is playing behind Goff. Okay, so see, that's what I'm saying. So y'all okay with Shedeur going to Cleveland now? He gonna battle with Teddy Bridgewater after he just battled with Dylan and Kenny Pickett? Y'all okay with that? See, that's what I don't want. I don't want him in Cleveland either, but I guess I can't have everything. I don't want him in Cleveland. But then now that things are getting better in Cleveland, now he could be going to the Lions. See, now you see how that look? You see how that look? Maybe the whispers were already out there, so that's why everybody was good now. You see? If it's true, I mean, it could be the case. He balled out. Why would you trade Shedeur? Think the media and people gonna feel about that. Now he got to learn another offense, and he was just learning their playbook. But it's still early. It's still early. It's not like he learned the whole playbook. It's not like it's true training camp. So it is time for him to pivot. But if he pivots to Detroit and Jared Goff is first and Teddy Bridgewater is second and somebody we don't know is third, is he going to start at the back of the line? Or are they gonna go, you know what? He was running with the tools in Cleveland. Let's let him run with the tools here. So they're not gonna put him in to compete with Teddy Bridgewater when he clearly the best quarterback they have in Cleveland. How y'all think the media gonna feel about this? Um, Shedeur to the Lions. Goff signed a 4-year deal in 2024. So that would be, yeah, that's true. He is like Michael Jackson. Whether at Motown or CBS, he's going to be spectacular. It's an excellent perspective. That's an excellent perspective, Terrence. Val said stay in Cleveland. Jerry said no, I don't think he's going to Detroit. The Browns need to keep Flacco, Dillon, and Shedeur. Okay, that means Pickett got to go. 144 is bigger than the draft. Cleveland is a ground zero. Okay, all right. And yes, Bridgewater is playing behind golf. Right. So we're gonna see. So first it was the Jacksonville whispers. So that has come and gone apparently because maybe they can't move his contract. Do think that golf is 2% battery life, whether he got a 2024 contract or not. That means he got about 3 years left. So they're gonna go plant Shedeur and bury him on their depth chart. If they stick it to the script, they will. I think I would rather see Shedeur in and Detroit. Okay, Gracie said Detroit. Bridgewater is finished. Shedeur can take over in Detroit. Okay, morning coffee. I dreamt he ends up wearing number 2 and being Geno Smith's backup. Weird dream. I did not ask for it. Cameron said he dreamt about it and it was like a vision. He didn't ask for that. Okay. That means you think he gonna end up in Vegas. Oh, okay. I'd rather see Shedeur stay where he is because Flacco is old and Goff is not. Oh, this Jerry Goff. I think he on his way out though. He was not good. And you know what they did? They put Teddy Bridgewater in when Goff was struggling. They let Teddy get it back, and then they gave it back to Goff, and he lost it. I hated that. A lot of people did, and so same organization. I had no idea Teddy Bridgewater was still in Detroit. Okay. The Cleveland owner is not going to trade. Sure, he hits. Sure, he hits money. He makes money. Navali, you saying because he brings in money? It says so Bridgewater came back to the league. Well, yeah, he did when they were playing. Was that like the playoffs or something? And Detroit lost. Jared Goff looked terrible. It was terrible. I was surprised. And they were already after that game, they were talking about moving him, and you see they didn't. Just like Will Levis. I don't want Shedeur in that kind of situation. He's thugging it out over here. Might as well just stay here in Cleveland. But then again, maybe they was excited because they knew Detroit was coming. But then the owner was out there today, and they let Shedeur run with the tools. So maybe Shedeur was auditioning, and we don't know. I don't know. Maybe Dillon goes to Detroit. But I'm going to listen to that. No matter how it goes, Deshaun will start in 2026 in order to trade him. So a trade could happen. I don't think after this season, Shedeur is on the move. I will say that. The Egyptian Queen, I would be good with Shedeur leaving the Browns. They're a bad franchise to represent. That's true. Unfortunately for Shedeur, but if they keep him, we'll be behind him 100% true. Bridgewater coached high school football last year and won a state championship in his first year. Yeah, that's why I didn't know he was still in the league. For that continental contextual. That's why I said Bridgewater still in. I thought he went back. Fairchild said exactly. It was like a vision because Brady and Pete Carroll got pulled, and number 12 is retired on the Raiders. Who knows? That's true. And they got Cam Miller from North Dakota State. That's interesting. Navalia Brown said yes. Okay, Navalia. The Cleveland Browns said he making money. I mean, that's true, but I don't think they cared about that. But I get it. Goff is 30 with 9 seasons in the NFL. So he is 2% battery life. Yeah. And he did not play good in that game that they lost. They kicked him out of Super Bowl or playoff contention or something. Goff will be 31 in October. Let's go 12. Los Angeles traded Goff to Detroit and won a Super Bowl. They did. They sure did. They sure did. Shedeur can take Detroit to the top. The team is ready.
Okay, so y'all like it. Some of us like it and some of us don't. Imagine what happens when the defense starts to play for Shedeur. He's a born leader. They already I think you know what I think? I think just like Malik neighbors, y'all know Malik neighbors was upset that they didn't get Shedeur in New York. Y'all, he was upset. He talked about it. And now that Cleveland watched him struggle through and make it in, everybody being nice and all that, and here come the owner checking it out. The whispers sound like they might be true because that's why he out there. Uh, and that could be the case tomorrow. They trade him. They better not use that damn waiver wire because if they do that, I'm gonna have that fit. Instead of just releasing him, meaning trade him because his contract not guaranteed, so they could just cut him and then let Detroit pick him up off waivers. I'm not gonna be happy with that because that's sticking to the script and executing the plan as it was originally laid out, as we were shown. Um, like the fact that he got to go learn something else, but he ain't been learning that much. He ain't been a month, so I'm okay with that. And Detroit, there is a better ceiling there. I mean, at least their reputation is not as bad as Cleveland's for quarterback killing, careers. Shedeur did say thank you for an opportunity, and everybody suddenly he's happy and treating him good. So maybe they've been hearing what we just heard momentarily. And then he got to go compete with Bridgewater. I don't really like that, especially behind 2% battery life. So we're gonna have to see. I'm split. I don't know. This first time I don't know. I know I got to see some more. I got to go a little bit more because if he is the one and he gets traded and they don't put him on waivers, but they trade him to Detroit, then I'm probably not gonna be pissed off like if he ended up on waivers. But then I'm gonna think, oh, that's why they was being nice to him because they knew he was leaving. I ain't gonna like that either. So I don't know. I gotta wait and see. And he to me to prove to be the best in Cleveland, and they just need to get the hell out the way. That's how I feel. But that's probably not gonna happen. So maybe. So I don't know. I gotta wait. I gotta wait and see. I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait and see. I'm gonna wait and see on stay in Cleveland or go to Detroit. I don't know. I haven't seen enough. Imagine what happens when the defense starts to play. They already like him. And just like I was saying, Malik Neighbors was upset that he didn't go where? To the Giants. You think they're gonna be happy in Cleveland, those players, fourth string, third string, second string, and first string that never got the opportunity, if they yank him out of there after they watched him struggle and survive and rise to the top? No, no, they not. They're gonna be upset. Watch. All right, so Shedeur would do the who? Oh, Cam Miller. Shedeur would do to Cam Miller what he's doing right now. I totally agree, but it shocked me when they drafted him. I was like, what? They will cut Bridgewater if they trade for Shedeur. Shedeur will be the future of Motown. Browns seem incompetent. I agree, Browns are incompetent, but I need to make sure they're not treating him like Geno Smith. Instability being weaponized. That's what I'm looking at. And it says 62 likes. Good job. Yeah, right. So we're gonna get out of here. On that note, I'm going to watch this interview y'all were talking about with 92.3 out of Cleveland. Is that a Cleveland station? Um, or I'm just gonna look up a Google Detroit, Shedeur to Detroit and see if it come up. Okay, all right. So I'm going to do that. All right, we'll be back tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to follow up from tonight's conversation and talk about any changes that have taken place. Y'all were awesome. Thank you to Cameron. And thank you to Tuna. Y'all were awesome tonight. Thank you so much. Let me make sure I'm thanking everybody. Mhm. All right. So yeah, I want to say thank you to everybody. Thank y'all so much. Cameron, Tuna, thank y'all. This was sweet. We taking this channel to the next level. Every time I do something, it's to get us to the next level. If y'all have your Shedeur jersey, don't forget to post it and tag me at What She Said Sports on whatever platform you're on. All right, everybody. Have a good night. This was awesome. Thank you for the likes. I'll see you tomorrow back on What She Said Sports, Lunch and Learn for overnight updates. See y'all later. Thank you. 92.3. Thank you, Cleveland Station. Got it, K Hayes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the compliments. Thank you, Gracie, for holding it down. Thank you, Kia, my day ones. Thank you, Jerry. Thank y'all, everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. See y'all tomorrow.
Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Be sure to join our daily live stream and listen up to What She Said Sports on the go on Spotify. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. Stay